Hello once again and welcome back to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week's episode is episode 28.
28?
I know, and we're talking about the 1980s this week.
The 1980s?
Stick around if you want to hear more. Alright, we're back again. Who would have expected that?
Yeah, not me, especially, no.
I don't know why I started with that.
No, I don't know why you did.
28 episodes we've done this, and I didn't expect to make it to 28. I thought we stopped at 27.
Yeah, you reckon 27, that's a good number
Yeah, I
to
thought
stop
that was
at,
the
is it?
limit.
All right, okay. Well, we might even make it up to 30, might even make it up to 50. Who knows?
Ooh, who knows?
Right.
Hello.
Normally, we kick off with just any other business, which usually is at the end of a meeting, but we
Yeah,
put
so
it
hang
right
on.
at the beginning.
Before we talk about the 1980s in the 1980s episode, we're going to talk about other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We always do that. In fact, when we do an episode about a particular subject, we talk about other stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And especially with these decade ones.
Yeah, the decade ones
Yeah.
normally are other decades we talk about.
Absolutely. Right,
Because we used up most of the 1970s in the 1960s episode.
we did. Everything strays across, though. Okay? You do end up talking about things, and so I'm not worried about it 1 second anyway. Right, okay.
Hello.
Anything you need to get off your chest?
No, I'm going to leave the t-shirt on if that's okay.
You made that joke last week.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. So
That's what happens when you get to episode 28.
Yeah, you keep forgetting. Yeah, short-term memory loss.
We quite literally just before this spoke about something that we already done in a previous episode and I forgot about it.
Right, yeah.
Well, yesterday, today, we did the London Landmarks half marathon.
We did indeed, Connor. Your very first
My
half
very
marathon.
first half marathon. I really hurt today.
Really hurt?
Yeah.
What hurts?
Me.
Yes, everything.
Yeah, all of me.
You're very tired, yeah.
My hip kind of leg area,
Oh dear.
lower back.
Yeah.
And I think where I was being a bit funny with running and stuff like that, and mostly walking, because I really did pick up an injury like partway through.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And I was really struggling. Bearing in mind that was still the longest distance I've ever run by the time the injury came about, so I'd done pretty well to get up to that point. Although the videos that got sent through, it shows me, because I decided to walk when I got to the 5k mark, because I was thinking I'd take it easy because it's the furthest I've ever run, and I obviously got to the 5k mark on my watch, but not the 5k mark for the race. So there's a video of me just walking.
Yeah,
the 5K.
I mean, I was quite excited about the videos. It's a great thing. London Landmarks Half Marathon is a fantastic event. And obviously this is the first time they've been able to do it since the pandemic. They were one of the first races to be cancelled when everything kicked off. But the photos, we were quite looking forward to the photos. And I think both of us were a little bit disappointed because there seems to be a lot of other people in my photos.
Well, I didn't have so much of that problem.
No, there's less of me. If someone's running along and you can see just 3 digits of their number and it was the same as mine, it's their photo I've got.
See, luckily mine was a 5-digit number, so it was really difficult for people.
Yeah, exactly.
But the problem is, I know there's probably quite a lot of my photos missing because I'm covering up like 2 digits of my number.
It could possibly be someone sitting
those
there going,
people,
why do I keep getting this bearded idiot?
Exactly. Those people, though, that... excuse me. Those people that you've got their photos, they don't have their photos.
Quite possibly, actually, but I am going through them saying not me, so I am doing the right thing about that. But look, we digress. Absolutely well done for yesterday. That was epic. I mean, to do...
Eating Jaffa cakes just before I finished as well.
Yeah, you had a Jaffa cake and
2 Jaffa cakes.
Lucas Aid Sport stopped, didn't you, by the embankment and then went on. Walked a bit further.
I was really hurting. I decided to do a sprint finish though.
You did indeed, I saw that. So no, very well done.
That's
but yeah, I'm not surprised you're aching so much today. I ache a bit, but not too bad, to be honest.
Show off.
Yeah, there you go. I'm a seasoned professional with these things, so.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Should I have anything else?
I don't know. This is your spot to just say anything that you wanted.
Is this mine every week?
Yes, we do this every week.
Yeah, but it's my spot alone?
No, it's our spot, but
right.
I'm just asking you.
No, I don't think so.
Right, okay.
The way you said it, though, sounded like I should have had something.
Well, no, there isn't. One of the things that I've been chasing up in part of my fact check is that I've been a bit disgruntled about the amount of perhaps mistakes or errors I've made. So I've been going through and trying to look at certain stuff and trying to find out. Now, one of the very first episode we ever released, I made perhaps a rash and sweeping statement that there was 17 types of lemons being grown in the Epcot Living on the Land ride.
Yep.
I thought I'd heard that somewhere, so I've gone to Epcot. I've actually messaged the Disney organisation at Epcot to ask them the question, how many lemons are they growing variety-wise? If that comes back and it's not 17, obviously I'll address that on these podcasts. But, you know, I'm awaiting information on that. Whether they'll take me seriously or not, I don't know. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it for the podcast, yeah?
No, as you well know. So, 80s.
I wasn't alive for it again.
Yeah, but, you know, just because you're not alive at a particular time, I know about periods of history before I was born. But,
No,
you know,
I
it doesnn't seem to engage at all with you.
What?
So I'm looking forward to if we end up doing something.
Do you
like
know much
this.
about the 50s?
Well, I know a little bit about it. I know about the 40s. I know about
50s.
well, what about any sort of history? Henry VIII
Yeah.
and his 6 knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know anything about that sort of
Yeah, I
thing.
do.
Well,
Why are you making
don't
these
you know
sweeping
about
statements?
things like the
Why are you
80s
making
then?
these? Well, because it's not what was taught in history lessons.
Well, it should be, shouldn't it? Well, it is history
It is
now,
now.
isn't it? So the 80s. I'll start then, and you can just pitch in if you want.
Sorry, I just want to make a comparison. What's more interesting, people going to a disco or the Romans?
What?
Well, we're talking about your history, like your growing up,
Yeah.
or being taught about the Romans. The
I
Romans
don't
were
think
more
we even have
interesting.
to ask that question, do we?
Yeah, the Romans were more interesting.
Anyway, the 80s, I think, was probably quite an important point in my life, because if you bear in mind when we went into that decade, I was sort of 11 and a half, and I finished it, obviously, at the end of that decade as a...
21.
Yeah. It's quite a significant part of your life. I mean,
Some would
when
say,
you're
yeah.
older, it doesn't really feel like that, but at the time, it's huge. You know, it kind of shapes. What
Same
you're
for
gonna
me
do.
with the tens. What are they called? The tens.
I know that's
You got the
another thing,
noughties.
Yeah.
You now got the 20s, which is the.
Well, I suppose
guess-
it is the tens.
We have
isn't
to
it?
just go through it again, didn't we?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm
Well, that
trying
was
to
the
think
1900s.
I'm trying to think of significant things that happened, and I guess the 80s were a funny sort of time, really. They, you know, we've on previous ones we've talked about fashion and things. Well,
Fashion.
certainly you've already made that joke as well.
I know,
You're
but
gonna
every
really
time you
have to go
say it,
back
every
and
time
look at
you
it.
say it,
You're going to have to do a joke check and have to do that every week. I'm very sorry. I made that joke last time.
you know what?
Um,
People have recurring jokes,
okay.
and it's fine. Like the 11 of Diamonds.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, so fashion-wise, I mean, there was all sorts of... I guess fashion sort of mixes with the music and everything else. And certainly over that period, I had a couple of looks, right? A couple of significant looks. One of which was very much around the electronic synthesizer scene at the time.
You were in a synth band, weren't you?
Well, I wasn't in a synth band, no. I was in a band. I was the synth player in a band with a
Oh,
guitarist,
sorry.
a bass player, and we did have a drum
You
machine.
played the synth.
Yeah, I played synth. So, I mean, this was like...
You weren't like Depeche Mode.
No, I wasn't Depeche Mode.
They
no.
were a synth band, though, weren't they?
Yes, they were, and nowadays they have a drummer and he plays guitar and whatever, but yeah, they were primarily just synthesizers. So, I mean, I could be found wearing baggies, which were baggy trousers, basically.
Heard a song about that.
Yeah, but not quite like that. But these big baggy trousers I used to get from Mr. Buy right, which no longer exists. A double-breasted shirt with the two buttons down the front of them like that, and you'd have your hair a little bit sort of. It was a bit sort of wedgy. Do you know what a wedge is? So it was like a long side parting sort of thing. And have you got information over in that corner there? Or
Yeah, I was just whispering to the wall.
well, okay, right. So and I used to have that. I famously had my ear pierced in the 80s as well, which
Multiple times.
Yeah, well, it was, but originally I had it done.
Oh, sorry, is that for the 90s podcast?
1985, I had my ear pierced. I know, because it was the same year as Live Aid.
That's
my
how you
mum
measure
wasn't
time,
too
don't you?
happy. I went down to the town centre, had it done, and came back. And she wasn't too happy. But subsequently, later on, I had my ear pierced a few more times, but that wasn't at a shop, unfortunately. That was by my girlfriend at the time's mate, who used to do it for everybody. Anyway, so I had a bit of a look then. I was in this band. We thought we were really cool. The people at that time, I suppose the look was around Spandau Ballet and Duran Duran and people like that. Used to have these what were called pixie boots, which were just sort of little suede boots. I couldn't afford them, right? And there was things called kung fu slippers that people used to wear, slip-on kung fu slippers. And this is a bit embarrassing, but because I couldn't afford pixie boots, but I wanted to know what I looked like in them, I used to wear my kung fu slippers, and I'd have black socks, and I'd put them over the top of them and pull them up a little bit up my legs, so they kind of looked like the pixie boots. But obviously I never went out like that. But I never had them. That was one big regret of mine.
So you used to be in your bedroom on your own, pretending you're wearing something called pixie boots.
Yeah.
Sounds.
I don't see any sort of issue with that whatsoever.
Did you hear that signal?
Yeah. But I was we've talked about music and that, and I was very much into that. And then that slightly changed within the 80s as well, when I kind of came out of that side of it, and then for a little while it was just ordinary, and then
I don't think you've ever been ordinary.
yeah, well, I had a Beatle, and I was quite
You painted
into
the
that.
rims of that pink, didn't you?
No, white.
Oh, white.
Right, it was really cool, but didn't work very well. But then I became a goth. Or I didn't become a goth. I didn't say I was
You
a
were
goth.
always a goth. It just emerged.
Yeah, but I certainly would have been classed as that. So the black torn jeans, the bands that I was into, Sisters of Mercy, The Mission, All About Eve, things like that. Susie and the Banshees I was into all the way through, but and that was around the bands I was in as well at the time. So I loved it. You have all the angst when you're that sort of age anyway, but I was quite into all that. I quite liked all that. Used to dye my hair, which is probably why it's all falling out now. You ever dyed your hair?
Yeah.
All right.
Did it once for a festival, dyed it pink.
Okay, and how did that work out?
Didn't come out very pink.
No?
No, but then I got a paint fight.
It certainly
and
ain't
then it
falling
did
out,
actually
is it?
come pink. No.
Like some sort of small shrubbery on the top of your head
Yeah,
and chin.
I'm just mostly hair.
You are
I would say I'm
mostly hair with
70% hair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think you might be right there.
I think if
You're
you
a
shave all my hair,
strategically shaved chimpanzee.
yeah, exactly. Just show my eyes. I reckon if you removed all of my hair, I'd be like
There'd be nothing.
there'd be this
a
very
pair of eyes.
small, skinny human.
Yeah?
Maybe not human
Like a
either.
little golem-like creature.
Yeah, really little.
We should try that. We should
Yeah.
try that on the podcast. I should shave you
We
on
could do
the
it this
podcast.
episode. Look right now.
I haven't brought in.
Oh, I'm shaved.
Oh, right. Yeah, you see what you mean.
Kind of works on a podcast, doesn't it?
So, yes, I mean...
Sorry, that a Snapchat filter. I recently did a Snapchat filter of me completely
Bald.
no beard, no hair,
Yeah, that was a bizarre
and
look.
it just extends what would be your head to those points. It makes me look like I'm really fat.
Dude, you just look like an egg.
Yeah.
An egg with eyes. That's all you look like. But yeah, quite entertaining that was. So I mean,
That was a bit of a.
I look back at photos of myself like people do, and there is a point where I look at the long hair, because I had very long hair
bit
at
off
one
track.
point as well. Huh?
Sorry, I was trying to finish my sentence because I was about to say that went a bit off track, but you
It did
carried
go a little
talking,
bit
so
off track.
I felt my part of me wanted to finish that sentence, so I just did it
Right.
whilst you were talking.
Okay, thank you very much. So, I look back at them photos now of the long hair and all
You
the
don't
rest of
always
it, and I
finish
think,
sentences. So.
what on earth was I thinking? I looked like sort of offspring of Wurzel Gummidge at one point, but I thought I looked really good.
Fact check.
I said absolutely nothing wrong on the last episode.
Fact check.
Right, I can't be too sure that was absolutely correct, but onwards, back onto the 80s.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I'll carry on going then, do
Yeah,
I?
carry on going. Because
Okay, well,
I don't know much about the 80s. I was in a school production.
Well, I was going to say that's one of the things I'd thought about. You should know a little bit about it because you were in a musical called Back to the 80s, weren't
Yeah. Do you know what time it was set in?
No, I didn't.
Set in the 80s.
In the 80s?
In the
Oh, wow.
80s,
It wasn't
yeah.
just a clever title then.
No, it
I went to
wasn't.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who I played?
You played multiple characters, didn't you?
Yeah, I played.
Adaman.
I was basically an extra kind of thing, chorus,
Yeah.
where I walked on at the beginning, kind of sat down, whatever. One bit I was sitting next to one of the main characters whilst he was pretending to play piano.
Oh, right.
Walked on as Yoda at one point.
You did walk on Yoda.
Walked on as Adamant as another point.
They still talk about that down at there.
Do
It was
they?
a triumph. I remember the local press. Who is the man behind the mask? The boy behind the mask.
I was
It's an
very
absolute
small
triumph.
when I was.
You were very small. It was very funny.
I was.
It was actually really good.
in
the
year 8, that was
productions.
before my growth spurt and
Yeah.
puberty and stuff like that, and I was
Oh,
very much.
Can you say that?
Yeah, what, puberty?
Yeah. Oh, you said it again.
Yeah, I've said it twice
I'm
now.
gonna bleep that out.
No, you're not, because you don't even edit it.
No, that's very
You
true.
don't know how to edit it.
Yeah. So you know a little bit about it. You know a few songs.
Yeah, like "Ooh, What a Feeling" when we're
I'm
dancing,
dancing
on the ceiling. And I was about to sing another song there, but I was thinking "We Are the World,"
Yeah.
but instead I was about to sing "Who We Are" by Imagine Dragons.
No, see, that wouldn't be right.
That
would
wouldn't
it?
be right. No, 'cause that wasn't
So
from the
obviously
80s.
you've just said "We Are the World" there.
Yeah, We
Now,
Are the Children as well.
1985, I mentioned earlier, Live Aid. What a huge... I mean, I worked in a record shop at that point.
Better or worse than Soccer Aid?
Better than Soccer Aid.
Compare
not
it to
as good as
Band-Aid?
Orange Aid.
Band-Aid,
Band-Aid is the record from
Live Aid,
Live Aid, yeah. Anyway,
Cherry Aid, Lemonade.
no. So, Live
First
Aid.
Aid.
It was huge, and I worked, as I say, at record shops. So I was working on the Saturday, so I'd have loved to have tickets for it, but it wasn't to be. So we
Well, it
were
wasn't to be
listening to it
'cause
on
you
the
didn't have
radio.
tickets.
Yeah, we were listening to it on the radio. So one artist, and it was how it ever worked. Now they can put on this sort of thing, but at the time it was huge. And then I got home and then I carried on watching it. I went round,
It was
sat
just
around
a big
someone's house.
concert, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, but it was very significant. Nothing like that had been done before. The bands that were on it was all very hit and miss. And when you see documentaries about it now, it's like a lot of things. People didn't quite know whether it would work, the technical side of it, and all that. Some things didn't quite work out, and some people had to cut short on stuff and that. But it's
Was it because it was televised?
Yeah.
Is that what the big thing was?
Well, it was pulled together very quickly. It was pulled together across, like it was happening in Wembley,
Like
and it was also
globally,
happening.
continents.
Yeah, but no, it was really just America and us that were
Well, it was
involved
two
in it. I think there
different
were other
continents.
things. Yeah, I think there were other, but basically they were having a concert. Well, not at the same time, but and there was some of the biggest artists of that time were on there and being asked to. Famously, Queen played, and that they'd gone sort of out of people's minds. Really, they'd had their day kind of, and they arrived at Live Aid and played a set that was incredible because of Freddie Mercury's presence on stage. They had the whole crowd just sort of in the palm of their hands. So, that was significant. And I remember watching it thinking it was significant at the time. And then since then, you look back at it, it was quite a point in history, not just in the 80s, in history.
So Live Aid was
Yeah.
a big concert.
Yeah,
Band Aid
was the single.
was the single from Live Aid.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure it happened first. So basically,
Because Band Aid was the one that was about
Do-
Christmas, wasn't
Do
it?
They Know It's Christmas? So that was released. So Bob Geldof and Midge
And Justin
put it
Bieber.
together. And what?
And Justin Bieber.
No.
No, he's in the newer version, wasn't he?
God. Yeah, but they did redo it a number of times.
Yeah.
But yes, he got together this group of people. People were turning
Justin
up
Bieber
and
wasn't
recording
alive.
their stuff. No, he wouldn't have been. And they released a single, and it was huge. And people bought it, and people were very affected by it. And then they took that on to the next level by bringing together this big concert. And I know it was something I'll never forget. I mean, even by listening to it on the radio and then watching it on TV, I still won't ever forget it. It was such a big thing. You should watch. There's plenty of documentaries about it. I think I've got something like that, but you should watch it because it is quite significant. And there'll be things in your lifetime that will have the same sort of effect, something that's happened along those sort of lines. But anyway,
Like Soccer Aid.
well, no. Well, what is it? I mean, I'm laughing about
That's
Soccer Aid, but Soccer Aid is significant because it raises a
Yeah, it
huge
does
amount
raise
of
a lot
money.
of money. Yeah.
One thing actually, and something that's changed very much from there, and on the sort of score of us doing the half marathon yesterday, is the London Marathon was first put on. I think it was 1981.
I like the way you said that, like it was from the top of your head, but you looked at your phone at the same time.
I had to because I've got a short-term memory, and thanks very much for pointing that out to everybody.
Well, it's just because I don't want people to think you're being incredibly smart.
Oh, right. Well, I don't suppose they do, and they certainly don't when you're in the room, do they? Anyway,
Whoa.
1981. How many people do you think run the marathon in 1981?
Oh, you want me to guess?
Yeah.
1,300.
It's more than that.
All right, 2,300.
It's more than that.
3,300.
It's more than that.
5,300.
No, more than that.
10,300. 7,300.
A little bit more than that.
8,000.
Look, we don't need to do that.
8,000?
No. It was
7,500.
7,741 people
If you give me a bit of time, I would have got that.
entered it. 6,255 people completed it, right, in 1981. You didn't have... It was much more of a proper race. You didn't have the charity element of it. And this is what I mean about Live Aid being in the 80s, and that was raised so much money. Now... I mean, the vast majority of people that are involved in the London Marathon run for charities, and the amount of money that's raised is phenomenal. We looked at that race yesterday, but it's absolutely incredible, and that's something
Wasn't
that...
it like £4 million yesterday or something like that?
Well, for different things, yeah. I mean, there's all round different stuff. I think the 2019 London Landmarks raised about 9 million or something like that in the end. But it's phenomenal. But nowadays, I mean, the last London Marathon, it's going to be due to be run again in October, obviously, usually in April, but because of the pandemic, it's been off. 2019, yeah, that pandemic.
One day we'll be going. Do you remember the pandemic?
42,906 people in the 2019 London Marathon. And I suppose it's a different sort of thing. You didn't raise money through that sort of thing when we talk about Live Aid in the 80s, but now your Live Aid or something like that is kind of in those sort of areas. You still have benefit concerts and everything, but
Children in Need.
Yeah, that raises... I don't actually know. Children in Need must have started quite early on, and I'm not sure when that was, but... something like that. I mean, that blew my mind.
I always get confused between Trevor Brooking and Terry Wogan.
As a West Ham supporter, that is diabolical.
I know. It's only because the T...
So anybody with the initial T,
yeah, my
you
middle
could get
name's
confused.
Terry.
Oh, my God.
No, I think I just accidentally said Trevor... Because Trevor Brookin's so ingrained in my head, I saw Terry Wogan once and went, Trevor Brookin.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Right, other things.
When I say I saw him once, I didn't mean I met him in real life and called him Trevor Brookin.
Did you?
No, I said I didn't.
Oh, right. I've met Trevor Brookin.
I know you have. Haven't you delivered his post?
I've delivered his post, but I also he opened a supermarket in Wickford, and I got a signed photo of him.
So what was the most...
In Billy Bonds and Pop Robson. Huh?
Billy Bonds, is there?
It was Billy Bonds. There was 3 of them, yeah.
And who?
And Pop Robson.
Can't say I've really...
No, well, of their time, they were...
I know Billy
incredible.
Bonds is.
Yeah, but Pop Robson was a really good player as well. But anyway,
That's
they
quite
opened
funny.
up I'm not
Was
even
this
sure
when
that...
they were playing?
Yeah. I've got signed photos of them somewhere in their West Ham kits.
This is the thing, like, when you get the people like... See, Mark Noble and stuff like that nowadays go to see a kid at a hospital, and they went to go open supermarkets.
Supermarket, I don't think it even exists. Well, it certainly don't exist in its name as it was. I can't think for the life of me. I'll have to come back to that. Obviously, I'll speak about that on another
Wickford
episode.
doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, Wickford is in a time loop anyway, isn't it? It's back in the 80s, really. I used to work in Wickford, and it's a land that time
shop,
forgot.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway,
It's a strange
other things
place.
that happened
I do like it though.
on something the beginnings of the World Wide Web.
The WWW.
The WWW was at the end of the 80s, so that's huge. That is, you think of life without that now.
We are quite literally recording this podcast using an application through the web.
Exactly. And, it must be difficult to think of a time. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to think all through your lifetime we've had it. But
we've always had the internet.
There's been certain things, obviously, technology-wise, in your lifetime.
Well, Google wasn't so much of a... I can't remember when Google... I think Google was founded around about the time I was born. But it wasn't necessarily the big thing that it was. I remember logging into a computer and having stuff like Yahoo and Ask Jeeves and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
The fact is, Ask Jeeves, who even uses... I don't even know if that still exists.
Probably not.
But we had Blue Yonder as well.
Yeah, it was all sort of things. But I guess it's just...
But I was certainly before YouTube.
Yeah. But that's madness. That must be to you the sort of stuff that's changed.
I feel like I'm going to have to look it up, but I think that's more of a 90s episode discussion.
Yes, it will be. Other things that happened in that... Well, there was the Falklands War, which was quite a frightening time for all of us. I was working... I was sort of, my brother, I should say, was, I think he was quite concerned about it because they were talking about calling people up. People started to talk about calling up, and we'd never had any in our lifetime. We've had never had anything like
really
that.
The big war before that was like World War II. And
yeah. So, they were saying, and it was never going to be fought like that because it was fought in obviously the Falkland Islands, as you know, isn't
it's
just
very
off of
close
South
to
America.
Argentina.
Yeah, exactly.
Hence the
so that was a
reason for the war.
That was a frightening time, a very frightening time. Charles and Diana's wedding. Then you've got Fergie and Andrew's wedding. Prince Andrew.
Oh,
Sarah Ferguson.
Well, Prince Andrew. He doesn't sweat.
No, he doesn't sweat. He didn't sweat then.
Can't sweat at all.
Bone dry all the way through that wedding. and I'll have to just sort of
Pizza
do
Express.
this through gritted teeth.
Did they have the wedding at Pizza Express? Was it Pizza Express?
I don't know. It might have been something like that. Obviously, the 80s was the time of Maggie Thatcher. So that was hugely significant.
It's one of these things. It's, I think one thing you do have to go is she led the way of women in politics.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But, I mean, all right, look, this is not... We don't talk about particularly go in depth with that sort of things. It's not my politics. It was a cause of a lot of division in the country, so there was quite a difficult time.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure there's merits. I'm sure there's certainly some positives.
This is literally the same with every single politician.
Yeah. Right, moving on swiftly from that. Big hair. Everybody had big hair. Loads of people had big hair. You had your hair. Well, you've got big hair. You see, you'd have been fine in the 80s. You'd have had to lose your beard, I think, unless it was a little silly sort of goatee beard. I think people started having them as well. You had the yuppies there was I mean, you'll know more. Probably your reference point for that is something like Only Fools and Horses. And there was a time when, you know, up in the city, all the young men there, they all had their braces on, they had loads of money. You know, it was very much a lifestyle that they had. That, you know, they were young, they had loads of money, they drank a lot, they lived fast, and burnt out, most of them as well.
Mm. Right, so as with every other decade episode we've done so far, we've got a song this week, have we not?
We have, and this is actually a song that I wrote.
You wrote it?
Yeah, I wrote this song.
Wow.
And,
have we had any songs written by you?
No, I mean, obviously I find all the other ones in drawers and, you know, in the back of cupboards and in libraries.
I mean, you did write the songs in the music episode.
Oh, yeah, I wrote all those, yeah.
Not all of them, I wrote my one.
The very exciting thing about this is one of my heroes, who's still going strong now, but one of my heroes from the 1980s, obviously 70s to 80s, but mainly when I liked him was in the 1980s, is the man, the legend, Gary Newman. And I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I managed to get him to sing the chorus on my song. I'm very excited about this.
All right, should we play it?
Yeah, let's play it.
Only people who were out in the 80s will be able to understand this.
80s, song about the 80s. 80s, song about the 80s. He-Man, Postman Pat, ponytails and Henry's cat. Danger Mouse, Bergerac, Heidi-Hi and Cheers. Thundercats, shoulder pads, John Lennon also said. Live Aid, Terminator, MTV. Hello, buddy, buddy, wow. Holy night. And anybody do about this midnight. E.T., Kid the Car, Desmond who shot JR, Pac-Man, Brideshead, Dirty Dancing Fame, Leg Warmers, Doc Brown, Berlin Wall comes crashing down, Moonlighting, Breakfast Club, Solidarity, Fraggle Rock, Filofax, Roller Rat and Shack Attack, Bucks Fears, Tears for Fears, Button Moon and Wham, Wine bars instead of pubs, Boy George and Culture Club, Banana Man, Duran, lunch is just for wimps. Looking my world and proud in the morning. Roll out, but I ain't made out of bones and bones. Thatcher, Wackaday, Charles and Dinah's wedding day, Moonwalking Graces and Count Ducky Bar, Munch Bunch Thriller, crispy pancakes for my dinner. Thank you for listening to my very 80s songs.
Wow, just wow.
Oh, I know.
What a great song. How much do you have to pay Gary Newman there?
Well, he owed me a favour anyway.
Oh, did
so,
he?
Yeah.
I've just realised, though, the first 25 minutes of our podcast, we might as well not have done. We just played that song. You
Yeah?
explained everything in the 80s in that song.
I did actually explain everything to us. I'm quite proud of that. Yeah. So, yes.
It was good. I really enjoyed it.
I'm over the moon.
Yeah.
It's not the last collaboration I'm going to have with him, I'm sure. But, you know.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he hasn't heard the finished article yet, but when he listens, because he loves our podcast.
Does he?
Yeah, he's one of the ones in the States that listens to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
How about Gary Oldman?
Gary Oldman? I don't know whether he listens to it or not.
All right.
Right.
We should get in touch with him.
Are you just thinking a bit? We're just trying to target everybody called Gary, yeah?
Yeah.
Gary used to be on EastEnders.
Yep. Gary the Snail from SpongeBob.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll do something specifically for. Perhaps we'll just do a Gary episode.
Yeah, maybe we'll just go on an episode Gary.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
There's
like
not many Garys nowadays. Statistically, there's not.
Right. Okay.
I seem to remember hearing a stat somewhere that was like 2019 there was 0 kids called Gary.
Right. And when was that?
something like 2019.
2019.
I don't know.
I'm just going to write that down in my things.
I said something like 2019.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's not the way we work anymore, is it? 2019, Gary. We're going to do a fact check.
All right.
We'll be back to you on that one. Okay, next up.
All right. Onwards with a game.
Yeah.
Game time.
Woohoo! Right, a game then for this week then, Dad. Then. Just throw that in
Dad,
a lot of
then,
them. Dad.
Okay.
You prepared something?
Well,
Because
it's a combination, really. It's a combination of two things, right? And as I start to explain this, there's something quite significant that was invented in its early stages in the late 70s, but became
didn't we discuss it in the 70s
a
episode?
phenomenon. Yeah, in the 80s, and that was the Rubik's Cube.
Mm-hmm.
And you've told me on a number of occasions, and if you hear a little bit of a... Don't look at the combination I'm doing. If you
Well,
hear
I'm
a
not
little
going to
bit-
remember the combination you do.
Right, the noise I'm making is I had a Rubik's Cube that was completely completed.
Completely
Right?
completed.
And at the moment, I'm messing it up because there's two things you've got to do for this next section. One, you've got to guess.
It's an older Rubik's Cube, sorry.
It is a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit stiff.
You've got to,
I haven't done it in a while.
You've got to guess films from certain lines from the 80s, right? Now, I know you weren't born in, but these are films that are quite significant films. And you've got to guess these. I'll be doing probably incredible impressions of the particular actors that say these words. But at the same time as you guessing, I want you to complete this Rubik's Cube.
All right.
Okay?
You know, it takes me roughly 5 minutes to do a Rubik's Cube sometimes.
Oh, so you only be a little way into it then?
Well, we'll see. I haven't done it in a while. But I know, but one time I did it in 5 minutes.
Okay. Afterwards, remind me of that because I want to talk to you about that after, not particularly about you doing them in 5 minutes, about the record of doing them. All right? So when we finish, perhaps we have a quick check about that.
It's not a speed cube, and it's definitely the springs are rusty. I'm going to catch it. Yeah.
You sure?
Yep. See,
Oh,
one-handed
well done.
with the left hand as well.
Okay.
So let me know when I can start.
Okay. So you can start as soon as I...
Is there a sting?
Oh, yeah, of course there's a sting.
There's a
Play the
sting.
sting.
Do you recognize these quotes from films? If you don't, this section's doomed. It's uncanny how I nail the voice. It's just like they're in the room.
That was
Right.
another great sting.
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, you can start when I start saying the first question.
Okay.
So you okay?
Yep.
We all good?
Yep.
Number one. Where did this come from? Be good.
E.T.
Number two. What is this exchange from? Where do you live in the city? You have a house, apartment, own or rent? Rent. What do you do for a living? Lots of things. Where's your office? I don't have one. How come? I don't need one. Where's your wife? I don't have one. How come? It's a long story. You have kids? No, I don't. How come? It's an even longer story. Are you my dad's brother? What's your record for a consecutive questions
Buck.
asked? 38. I'm going to finish.
Okay.
I'm your dad's brother, all right? You have much more hair in your nose than my dad. How nice of you to notice. I'm a kid. That's my job. Yes, absolutely. You're Uncle Buck. Number three.
What's another word for balls? Nuts. That's a great film. Watched it as a kid.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
I'm going to go with Terminator.
Is that your final answer?
Terminator 2.
Well done.
I've done one side, by the way.
Oh, well, congratulations. Number four. Why worry? Each one of us is carrying an unlicensed nuclear incinerator on his back. Oh,
Men in Black?
no. Why
That's
worry?
90s.
Each one of us is carrying an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on his back.
I don't know.
80s film
Yeah, I
on
got
their
that.
back. There's 4
Just
of them.
about looking, by the way. It's 4 of them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've had to
They
focus for a
don't
second.
cross the streams.
Oh, it's Ghostbusters.
It's Ghostbusters. It's a trap.
That's Star Wars, New Hope.
No.
Oh no, Empire Strikes Back.
No.
Oh, I can't remember the name. Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
I've done 2 sides now.
Oh, right.
I'm on the last
Screw it.
bit.
Number 6. Silence, Earthling. My name is Darth Vader. I am an extraterrestrial from the planet Vulcan.
Because that's a very much a throw off because it's got Star Trek reference and Darth Vader. It's from it's a kid, isn't it? Saying it.
It's a young man saying it. He's wearing a sort of... what are the things if there's... People have been using with the pandemic, those suits, biosuits. He's wearing one like that when he says it.
Oh, I've messed up this Rubik's Cube.
He's got a Walkman and he plays it on his Walkman.
Dad, I've messed up this Rubik's Cube because you distracted me.
Well, that's the whole point. You give up?
Yeah.
That's Marty McFly in Back to the Future.
I'd almost finished. I was literally like 1 move away.
Number 7. I'm going to say this once. Going to say it simple. And I hope to God, for your sakes, you all listen. There are no abominable snowmen. There are no Sasquatches. There are no big feet.
Big feet. Is that actually the line?
Yep. 80s film, one of your favourites. Not that you've seen it.
Oh. There are no abominable snowmen. There are no... And then one appears, don't they?
Yep.
Scooby-Doo.
No, Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and Hens. I've seen that.
Yep. Okay. Number 8. We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
People are going to be well annoyed on getting these.
I'll give you due. You are trying to do a Rubik's Cube at the same time. Go on.
Yeah, I very nearly had it and then it got messed up. Say it again.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men. It's at the very end of a film that started it's had 4 so far and they're about to make another film, or they're making another film.
Jurassic Park.
No.
No, 'cause that's been 5, isn't it? Ghostbusters. There've been 4 of it. No, there haven't. There's been 3 of
It's
them.
very, very famous. I'll give you a clue. Last time we went to Disney, we went to watch it and there was a thunderstorm and they cancelled it.
Phantasmic.
No. That's not even a film, you
Fantasia is though.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Yes. Which one?
Uh,
I have told you it's the first one.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
There you go. Number 9. They're here.
Oh, I'm going to mess up the same bit again because...
Scary film.
They're here. Scary film.
Things are moving around. What would cause that?
Ghosts.
Yeah, what sort
Ghostbusters 2.
What sort of ghost?
Poltergeist.
Yeah, poltergeist.
Know that from our ghost episode.
Number 10. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I don't know.
That, my friend, is Batman. What about this one? You don't know how hard it is being a woman looking the way I do. Oh my God.
Done it.
Congratulations.
I did mess up partway through and I nearly did it very quickly, but I messed up.
Right, well, I'll take a picture of you and that to prove that you did that. I'm very impressed because I messed that up myself. Right, we'll just finish these off then. You don't know how hard it is being a woman looking the way I do. Yeah, well, you don't know how hard it is being a man looking at a woman looking the way you do.
Oh, that was a very good accent.
Yeah. It's a kind of the male accent is a New York accent.
Yeah.
It's you've seen this film.
Have I?
Yeah. The character used to be in Disney and then disappeared. There was only one film made.
What, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, well done.
He still is a Disney character.
What about
But
this
he's just
one?
not shown in Disney parks anymore.
9 million terrorists in the world, and I got to kill one with feet smaller than my sister.
Made of flour.
Well done.
Um,
Film you need to see that you haven't seen.
Die Hard.
Yeah. Okay, right. So what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Well,
Well, you know the song, but do you know the film?
No.
Weird Science. And there's just 2 more. I'm not so sure we should do this. Do what? Well, I like you and I want you to spend the night. I want to spend the night with you. Do you mean sleep over? Well, yeah. Okay, but I get to be on top.
It's about bunk beds, isn't it?
So what film would that be?
Peter Pan.
No, come on. What's gone wrong?
I don't know. You're big and little and large. Why are you doing that?
Because you've practically said it.
Big.
Big. Yes. Wax on, wax
Karate
off.
Kid.
Yay! And so ends that incredibly nightmarish episode. Well done. I am impressed. I didn't think you'd do that.
What?
Rubik's Cube.
Oh, I was literally, it's frustratingly close at one point.
I know that obviously you weren't concentrating on the questions I was giving you, but that is impressive.
Well, there was one point that I was focusing on some of the questions, and because some of it, a lot of what when you do a Rubik's Cube is actually really quite simple to do once you know how to do it, and you work in certain kind of rhythms in the fact that I know when I move this piece, I need to move this piece. When I move this side, I need to move this side this amount of times, blah, blah, blah. I moved one side, and then you mentioned something, and I forgot if I'd already moved it or not, and then I lost where I was.
Well, I am impressed. Right, my question. Something that is just... You talked at the beginning about a Rubik's Cube being speed cubes. Are there certain ones that are easier to move than
easier to
others?
spin.
Right. Do you know
Mike.
what the record is for doing a Rubik's Cube?
Isn't it like...
I don't know.
46 seconds or something like that.
I don't think it's even anything like that. I think it's some ridiculous amount of seconds. I cannot possibly see how they can do it.
They could do it like one-handed, because you know how I twist like that.
Yeah.
With my whole hand around it. It's because this is really quite a stiff
but I've
cube.
actually seen people. I've watched videos of people and
I've
they've
got
gone.
a really old
they've been
cube up there
given.
as well, from
they've
like-
been given one, and they go, jum, 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 and it's done.
Yeah.
How can that actually be possible? I'm sure. I mean, all right.
I think often the middle ones are circular
Oh right, okay.
as well.
I can't deny that I've peeled the stickers off of ones before and put them back on.
Well, I think the one that you've done that to was a Rubik's Cube that I've got up in that cupboard there that's from the 80s.
Oh right, okay, that's not.
That's
good
one of
then,
your
is it?
childhood ones.
Oh, is it?
I
thought it was one that I
Mick
had.
owned it or something
Okay,
like that.
well, there you go.
And now I do. And it's up in that cupboard up there.
But I just don't. I mean, it blows my mind how quickly it's
I might
done.
have to buy a new one.
Yeah. Oh, well done.
Thank
a little
you.
round of applause for you, and I will take a picture of you in a second with your Rubik's Cube completed.
Thank you.
Okay. That's all I've got then.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Is that a shorter episode than normal?
yeah.
By how much?
By about, well, depending on which kind of method you're going by, but only about 5 minutes or something like that.
Well, you got to rattle off some of your
Yeah.
stuff, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you listen to this and you didn't take advantage of the 10% discount we did, well, you missed that then.
You're a fool.
You're a crazy fool.
You're a crazy fool. Yeah, that was in the 80s, the A-Team.
What we do
Like
have,
that.
though, is we do have a...
Ain't getting on no plane, fool.
All right. What we do have is we do have an offer that when you spend over £30, you can get free delivery as long as you use the postcode, as long as you use the discount code free30.
Free
And
30?
Free spelled FREE and then 30. If you use that when you spend £30 or more, then you get free delivery.
Right.
for some delivery and stuff, do remember, since we left the EU, where some of our stuff gets manufactured, there can be a customs charge, but it's not normally that much.
Brexit, God's sake.
But that's only with certain things, and when you, it's only when you spend a certain amount of money from certain products outside the UK. But other than that, we've got our website, which is a great place because you can get all of our episodes on there. You can listen to all of our episodes on there.
You can fact check yourself.
You
have to be very careful when you say it.
Yeah, you do. You can have a look at the blog.
You can.
The What's New section. We've got our homepage where you can be at home.
Yeah.
An about page where you learn about us.
Might have to update that a little bit.
What?
Because we've moved on in character and personality since we
have
first
we?
did it. Yeah.
What, in like however many months we've been doing this?
Yeah. I feel I've.
Actually, 6 months we've been doing this.
Blimey, O'Reilly. That is
right?
a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Well, 6 months definitely by the time this episode comes out.
Oh well. Okay.
The contact us page though is a big one because you can actually send us messages on there. You can send comments, questions, suggestions. It's good for all sorts of stuff, complaints. But yeah, we've got.
Stop mucking about that.
I'm just keep playing with the Rubik's Cube and distracting myself. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can follow us on those, like us on those, do all those kind of stuff on those. But you don't have to do any of that. You can listen to us on all the different podcast platforms like Spotify, Acast, iTunes, Amazon Music. They're all absolutely free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't have to pay anything for them, do you?
Don't have to pay anything. That's what free means.
It does.
But yeah, I think that's about it. Can you think of anything I've missed? Fatherandsundays.com is the website. Probably should mention that.
I can't think of anything else. I'd hopefully by next week I'll be able to let you walk around. I won't have to carry you over my shoulder.
Yeah, I'm hoping that my legs should got work tomorrow. So
yeah, I know that's going to be a bit of an issue, isn't it? But
yeah, walking in the
good luck with
office.
that. You big girl's blouse.
Yeah,
get over it.
Sitting on a wheelie chair.
Sit on a wheelie chair.
It's a really good chair though.
Yeah. Okay. On that note,
I hope everyone has a lovely week.
Yeah, have a good week, and we'll see you back here next week for another exciting episode of Father and Sundays.
Wow.
The unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, it's episode 28.
Yeah, but I didn't even know I knew that. So
well, it's episode 28.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
20, I thought you said 29 at the beginning.
No, 28.
All right, okay.
All right.
All right.
Next week's episode 29.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.